On the upper end of senior living communities are CCRCs, or Continuing Care Retirement Communities. What are they, and could they be an option for you? I worked at one for several years, and my parents lived in one, which just might qualify me to speak on today's topic. Hi, my name's Keith Manning. I'm a licensed healthcare administrator and an ordained minister. I'm interested in helping you care for the whole person. Today, I'd like to give some insights into CCRCs. Sometimes called life plan communities, this kind of facility has all three levels of senior living: independent living, assisted living, and skilled nursing. They may also have a dedicated memory care unit and probably offer rehabilitation services. A CCRC can be almost a totally self-contained little city with many services and social options, often with shops, chapels, libraries, swimming pools, gyms, beauty salons, and much, much more. Most are located in major metro areas, and some newer ones are located on the campuses of large universities, meaning there are multiple nearby medical services and outside activities such as theaters, sporting events, shopping, and educational opportunities. An intangible benefit of CCRCs is better access to peers at a similar stage of life. It's well known that stronger social relationships can significantly improve overall well-being and a better quality of life. Residents have no worries about maintenance, landscaping or groundskeeping, security, and most concerns about ongoing health care. As issues associated with aging or illness progress, residents can seamlessly move from independent living to assisted living to skilled nursing, all in the same facility. Lastly, a CCRC effectively serves as if one had a long-term insurance policy. They agree that once they admit you, they can't kick you out, except for very limited reasons. All of these things may provide peace of mind to residents and their families. The downside of a CCRC, probably the biggest, is that it's quite expensive, both in terms of the initial buy-in costs and ongoing monthly fees. This financial outlay does not yield any owned property to leave to one's estate. Also, there aren't that many of them, at least in terms of the number of elderly Americans seeking long-term care, meaning that the perfect community for you may be located in an area far from family members and friends. These downsides are often seen as a trade-off for the care residents can enjoy as they age. One other downside of the CCRC is that they can be quite exclusive. They do not need nor do they want to accept everyone who applies. When I worked for one, my responsibilities included vetting candidates after the marketing department was done with them. Candidates had to turn over lists of all their assets, both tangible and intangible, bank and investment records, and their medical records. I used these along with actuarial tables to determine if we could afford to admit them. Here's the thing. CCRCs need their population to be mostly composed of relatively healthy and well-off individuals, because the longer the residents live, the greater the profit margin for the facility. Both of my parents lived in a CCRC until they passed. Mom and Dad had a decent amount of savings, and they looked at several CCRCs that they really liked, but some of them were way out of budget. They finally did move into one, and while it did fit their price range, it really wasn't near any of their children and grandchildren, so we didn't see them as much as we would have liked. So how much does it cost? Getting to the bottom line may be tricky. You'll need to do some research online and meet with the marketing departments. They may be a little shy, at least initially, with the price lists. You need to do tours, and you need to have a sit-down meeting to find out what the real costs are. Be sure to ask detailed questions about finances beyond the buy-in cost and the monthly fees. For example, does it cost more to move to the next level of care? Ask about the process and availability, as well as referrals to outside facilities and whether or not any of the fees are refundable if you change your plans. Speaking of those steep buy-in charges, which can range from the high tens of thousands and to much, much more, many residents will need to sell their home and other assets in order to get in. Be aware of a cost increase clause that may be in your monthly fees. One of my wife's closest friends helped support both of her parents at a high-end CCRC that raised their monthly fees by 2% every month. Compounded, that amounts to almost 27% per year, a significant, painful fact for contributing family members. The solvency of a CCRC and its parent corporation need to be investigated. There have been several major bankruptcies over the last couple of years. You can ask the marketing department for an audited financial statement and consult with a specialist to understand the financial fitness of your prospective new home. Arizona, New York, California, and Texas are among states that require CCRCs to do actuarial studies. Request their annual report. You can check with carf.org for a consumer guide as well. They are the ones that accredit CCRCs. Check the description of this video for that web address. If a CCRC might be an option for you, make the visits, do the tours, and ask lots of questions. Get all the documentation and review it with a professional before you sign. I'm covering many other topics about long-term care. If this is helpful to you, follow for more.